Welcome to Galactic Tales YT, where the world of science fiction comes to life through powerful stories, emotional journeys, and breathtaking adventures across the stars. A human's lonely order brought the universe's most beautiful alien. The universe didn't start this war with guns. It started it with a delivery. Alex Mercer never thought one small package could burn half a planet. He was just a courier, a human speck among giants. And yet tonight, the alien skies over Krell's landing glowed red because of him. Thunder rolled as ships screamed overhead, bright trails slicing through the clouds. The settlement below was chaos, alarms, shouting, the smell of burnt metal in the air. Alex crouched behind a collapsed wall, heart pounding. He could taste dust and fear on his tongue. A week ago, he was just another delivery boy nobody cared about. Now, everyone wanted him dead. And it all began the day she arrived. Back then, Krell's landing was still alive. Traders shouted in a dozen alien tongues. Metal plates hummed beneath the heat of twin suns. Humans were rare here, tolerated but never respected. Alex worked for the lowest courier company on the planet, flying half-broken hoverbikes between warehouses, dropping off parts no one remembered ordering. He earned just enough to eat and sleep. No friends, no future. Except for one secret dream. He'd saved every credit he could for 3 long months, skipping meals, wearing the same oil-stained tank top, to pay for a galactic match service bride. His friends, if you could call them that, laughed in his face. A human buying a wife from another world. Pathetic, but Alex didn't care. He didn't want perfection. He wanted someone who saw him. So when the agency confirmed the match, Proximan female, compatible, strong temperament. He felt something he hadn't in years. Hope, and hope, in Krell's landing, was dangerous. He waited at Dock 12 that afternoon, nerves twisting his stomach. The metal platform shimmered under the sun. His old pocket watch ticked uselessly in his palm. Every few seconds he wiped sweat on his shirt, right where the word delivery was printed, a cruel reminder of what he was, a man who delivered for everyone but himself. Behind him came a familiar growl. "Still waiting on your imaginary girlfriend, Mercer?" Alex didn't turn. He didn't need to. That voice belonged to Drax, the Saurian foreman. 7 feet tall, all scales and smugness. "She's real," Alex muttered. "And she's coming today," Drax laughed, the sound rough and deep. "Sure she is. Maybe she saw your face and cancelled mid-flight." The dock workers joined in, their laughter echoing off the metal walls. Alex clenched his fists. He'd heard worse, but this time something inside him whispered, "Just wait." And then the sky answered. The sound came first, a deep, low rumble that silenced the laughter. A shadow crossed the sun. Everyone looked up as a ship descended through the clouds, old and scorched from long travel. "Holy void," Drax murmured. "You actually bought one." The ship landed hard, sending a shockwave through the dock. Steam hissed as the boarding ramp unfolded, slow and heavy. From within the fog, a shape moved. She stepped into the light, tall, glowing, and impossible. 8 feet of power, wrapped in soft gray fabric. Her skin shimmered blue like polished stone, her hair silver as liquid metal. 3 eyes blinked in rhythm, scanning the platform. Each step made the metal groan under her heavy boots. In both hands, she carried iron cases that looked too heavy for a loader-bot. And then she saw Alex. Her middle eye brightened, and she smiled. Not a cruel smile, not an alien sneer, but something warm, something human. "Hi, honey," she said, voice smooth and melodic. "I'm your future wife." The dock went dead silent. Even Drax, who had never backed down from anything, stepped away as if instinct told him this being was not to be mocked. Alex swallowed hard. His throat was dry, his heart wild. "You're real." The alien woman tilted her head, amused. "Of course I'm real." "You're Alex Mercer, right?" He nodded. Yeah, I am," she smiled wider. "Then I'm Tara, from Proxima. Your profile said you wanted someone different." She gestured playfully at herself. "I hope I qualify." The laughter from Drax's gang died in their throats. "Different?" Alex managed. "Yeah, you could say that." As they walked past the silent crowd, Drax tried to recover his pride. Didn't know the matchmaking agency sold bodyguards now. Tara turned slowly, her 3 eyes narrowing. "Bodyguard?" she echoed. Her voice was still calm, but carried a strange vibration that made the air hum. "You think my size means I'm dangerous?" Drax smirked, forcing a laugh. "Just saying, she's big, good," Tara said sweetly. "Because I protect what's mine." She rested one massive hand on Alex's shoulder, gently, yet possessively. Drax froze. Nobody laughed this time. Later, as Alex drove his old hoverbike through the dusty streets, Tara sat behind him, her arms wrapped carefully around his waist. She smelled faintly of ozone and metal, like a storm. "You seem nervous," she said. He laughed softly. "You're twice my size and you just made a Saurian dock boss shut up. I think nervous is fair." "Then you'll get used to me," she said, voice warm. "Proximans value loyalty. We stand by our partners." Alex didn't answer. He didn't need to. For the first time in years, he wasn't invisible. What he didn't know, what neither of them knew, was that Tara hadn't come to Krell's Landing by chance. Inside one of her metal cases, beneath false security seals, lay a glowing sphere marked in 2 languages, Project Genesis, Human Proximan Research. And somewhere high above the colony, ships were already moving into formation, preparing to claim it. The war hadn't started yet. But it was already coming for them. The Red Sector trap war hadn't reached the colony yet, but danger had started whispering Alex Mercer's name. The next morning, Krell's Landing looked calm, too calm. The streets smelled of burnt circuits and spice, the sky glowed pale orange, and the air carried that strange silence that comes before storms. Alex woke to the gentle hum of his pod's power core and the heavier sound of someone moving inside. Tara was already awake. The alien woman knelt beside the small kitchen unit, examining his broken toaster like it was alien tech from another age. "This is primitive," she said softly, poking it with one large blue finger. "How do you humans survive?" "Barely," Alex muttered, rubbing his eyes. "Coffee's on the shelf, 3rd can from the left." She found it easily, sniffed the tin and smiled. "Smells like fuel." "It is," Alex said. "Just for people." For a moment it almost felt normal. 2 mismatched beings sharing a quiet morning. But then Alex's work communicator buzzed on the table. The tiny screen flashed, "Urgent delivery, Red Sector." He groaned. "Not today." Tara tilted her head. "What's wrong?" "The Red Sector," Alex said. "Smuggler territory. No rules, no law. Just trouble. Then say no." "I can't. It's flagged priority diplomatic. If I refuse, I lose my contract." Tara stood, towering above him. "Then I'm coming with you." Alex blinked. "You?" "It's dangerous." Her 3 eyes narrowed slightly. "So is life. And where I come from, partners protect each other." He wanted to argue. But one look at her determined expression ended that thought. "Fine," he said. "But keep your head down. And maybe, try not to start a war," Tara smiled. "No promises." Their hoverbike rumbled to life with a tired cough. The engine struggled under Tara's weight, but somehow kept going. Alex drove. Tara sat behind him, her arms wrapped gently around his chest, her chin resting lightly on his head. "This is cozy?" she said, voice amused. "Yeah," Alex muttered, pretending not to notice the warmth of her breath on his neck. "Just try not to crush me." The streets of Krell's Landing passed in a blur. Grey metal, flashing neon signs, alien faces watching as the odd pair rode past. Humans were rare here. A human with a Proximan bride? Unheard of. As they approached the Red Sector, the lights dimmed, replaced by flickering lamps and graffiti burned into steel walls. The air grew thicker, a mix of smoke, oil, and danger. Tara's voice dropped low. "This place smells like lies." "That's the slogan," Alex joked weakly. But even he couldn't shake the chill crawling up his spine. The destination was a bar called The Void's Edge, the kind of place where every drink came with a side of regret. The door hissed open, releasing the heavy scent of alien alcohol. Conversation stopped the moment they stepped inside. Eyes turned. "Dozens of them," Alex forced a smile. Friendly crowd. More like hungry, Tara whispered. At the far table sat the client, a tall, insect-like Vexian with long arms and sharp mandibles. His name, according to the order, was Kroll. Alex walked up, clutching the small metal package. "Delivery from Central Courier Services," he said carefully. "Diplomatic seal intact." Kroll's mandibles twitched. "So it is," he said in a voice like broken glass. "But you brought company." "She's with me," Alex said. "Personal security. Personal." "Property?" Kroll asked, his black eyes glinting. Tara's hand twitched. Alex saw it and quickly stepped in front of her. "No, my partner." Kroll leaned forward. "A human courier and his alien pet. Interesting." He extended one clawed hand. "Give me the package." Alex handed it over, but as he did, Kroll's other hand shot out, gripping his wrist like a vice. "Payment first," Alex said quickly, trying to pull away. "Payment later," hissed Kroll. "Inspection now." The Vexian turned the package over, scanning it with an embedded wrist device. The air hummed. A red light blinked, then Kroll's mandibles curved into something that might have been a smile. "Curious. You didn't open it. Most humans would have." "Company policy," Alex said through clenched teeth. "Company policy won't save you," Kroll whispered. That was the moment Tara moved. 1 second. She was behind Alex. The next, she was between him and Kroll. One massive blue hand clamping around the alien's arm. "Let go," she said. Her voice was low, calm, dangerous. Kroll's mandibles clicked in defiance. "Do you threaten me, Proximan?" "I don't threaten," Tara said softly. "I promise." The sound of bones cracking echoed across the bar. Kroll shrieked, his arm twisting as Tara released him. He stumbled back, clutching it, hissing in pain. All around them, chairs scraped. Weapons flashed. Tara stood tall, her eyes glowing faint gold. "Anyone else want to discuss human policy?" Silence. Even the music stopped. After a long pause, Kroll nodded once. "Take your human and leave." "Gladly," Tara said. She turned, guiding Alex toward the exit. As they stepped out into the cool night air, Alex's heart was still racing. "Tara," he said breathlessly, "you just punched a Vexian diplomat." "He grabbed you," she said simply. "Where I come from, that's assault." "Yeah, but here it's politics," Alex groaned. "You could have started trouble?" She interrupted with a small smile. "Too late." "Trouble found us first," Alex frowned. "What do you mean?" Tara tilted her head toward the dark alley ahead. Between the shadows, 2 figures watched, both wearing the insignia of Norvo Kell, the colony's powerful security chief. "They were in the bar," Tara said. "They didn't order drinks." "They ordered information," Alex swallowed. "About what?" "About us," she said. They climbed back onto the hoverbike. Alex's hands trembled as he started the engine. "So, what now?" Tara looked back at the glowing red sector skyline. "Now," she said, her voice colder than before, "we find out why Norvo Kell is following a courier and his bride." The engine roared to life, the sound echoing into the night. And somewhere behind them, in the dark, the Vexian Kroll touched his communicator and hissed one word that would soon set the whole colony aflame. "Activate." The offer from Norvo. Kell, when Alex Mercer woke up, he wasn't sure if he was alive or about to die. The lights in his pod flickered like dying fireflies. The air smelled faintly of smoke. Beside him, Tara sat motionless on the edge of the bed, staring at a strange, glowing mark on her arm. It wasn't there last night. A small triangle of light pulsed just beneath her blue skin, glowing faintly gold. "What is that?" Alex whispered. "Tracking residue," Tara said quietly. "From the red sector. Someone tagged us." Alex felt the air drain from his lungs. "You mean someone knows where we live?" Tara nodded once. "Or worse, they want us to know they know." Before he could respond, his communicator buzzed. The sound made both of them flinch. The display showed an unknown frequency, encrypted, official. Alex hesitated, then answered. "Mr. Mercer," a deep voice said. "My name is Norvo Kell, head of security for Krell's Landing. I'd like to speak with you and your companion. Now." The call ended before Alex could reply. Tara stood slowly. "He didn't ask," she said. "He ordered." The administrative spire towered above the colony like a blade of glass. It was the only clean building in the settlement, white, perfect, and cold. Inside, everything gleamed. Walls hummed with quiet energy. Security drones hovered silently above marble floors. Alex felt out of place the moment he stepped in. His clothes were dusty, his boots scuffed, his hands still trembling from the night before. Tara, on the other hand, moved like she belonged. Every step of hers echoed confidence. A receptionist, human, expressionless, scanned their IDs and waved them through a pair of tall silver doors. Inside sat Norvo Kell. He was massive, even for a Tauran, 8 feet tall, shoulders broad as a tank. 2 silver horns curled elegantly from his head, and his polished armor glimmered under the soft lights. When he spoke, his deep voice carried the weight of someone used to commanding obedience. "Please," he said smoothly. "Sit." Alex hesitated. Tara didn't. She chose the bigger chair. Kell smiled faintly. "Ah, the famous Proximan bride, and the human who made a fool of the Red Sector's most dangerous client. We delivered a package," Alex said cautiously. "That's all. Is that what you think?" Kell's eyes, gold and sharp, studied him. "Tell me, Mr. Mercer, did you look inside the package?" "No," Alex said. "I don't open what isn't mine." "Good," Kell said, leaning back. "That's exactly why I called you here. You're reliable." He tapped a button on his desk. The window behind him dimmed, revealing a hologram floating above the table, a silver case, identical to the one from last night. Alex's stomach tightened. "I believe you recognize this?" Kell asked. "Maybe," Alex said slowly. Kell's smile didn't reach his eyes. "That diplomatic package you carried contained something very valuable. It went missing after your delivery, and our friends in the Red Sector aren't known for returning lost property." "You think we stole it?" Tara asked, her tone dangerously calm. "I think you might be useful in getting it back," Kell said. "You're outsiders. You move unnoticed. No one suspects a courier and his bride." Alex frowned. "And what if we say no?" The Terran's smile vanished. "Then you might find yourself without employment, or a home, or air." The silence in the room turned heavy. Tara's voice broke it. "You could send your own soldiers. Why us?" "Because my soldiers are recognizable," Kell said simply. "And because you, Ms. Tara, have a reputation." Tara's eyes narrowed. "You've been checking my record." Kell nodded. "Ex-military, Proximan Defense Force. You left under complicated circumstances. I won't ask why. I only care that you can handle yourself." Alex looked from Kell to Tara, trying to read her expression. "What kind of job are you offering?" Kell's horns caught the light as he leaned forward. "Transport. 1 small case to a mining post outside the colony. Simple work. No questions." "Payment?" Tara asked. Kell named a number that made Alex's breath catch. It was more than he'd earned in 3 months. Tara crossed her arms. "That's too high for a simple job." Kell smiled thinly. "Call it a reward for discretion." The room went quiet again. Alex's mind raced. Something felt wrong. Too easy, too profitable, too clean. But the thought of money, of freedom, of finally escaping the grime of Krell's Landing, it burned away his hesitation. "We'll do it," he said before Tara could stop him. Kell nodded, pressing a button on his desk. A small metal case materialized from a slot in the wall, identical to the last one. "Delivery coordinates are encoded inside," Kell said. "Leave tonight. Return tomorrow with the confirmation code. You'll be paid on completion." He looked directly at Alex. "And Mr. Mercer, I do admire your loyalty. But if you disappoint me again..." He tapped his horns lightly. "I tend to remember faces." Outside, the sun was setting, painting the colony in blood-red light. Tara didn't speak until they reached the hoverbike. Then she turned sharply toward him. "You shouldn't have agreed," she said. "We need the money," Alex replied. "And if we don't do it, he'll come after us anyway." "That's not the point." Her middle eye flickered. "You felt it too, didn't you?" The fear under his smile. Alex exhaled. "Yeah, I did." Tara stepped closer, her voice dropping. "This isn't a delivery, it's a test." "Then we pass it," Alex said, trying to sound confident. She gave him a long look, then sighed. "Humans," she murmured. "Always brave when they should be scared." He smirked weakly. "Keeps us alive." She smiled faintly, but her eyes stayed wary, scanning the crowd. "Maybe. But if Norvo Kel's involved, we won't stay alive for long." The hoverbike engine roared as they sped away into the deepening night, two small figures against the glow of a dying sky, unaware that, in the shadows above, unseen drones tracked their every move. And far below the spire, in a locked data chamber, a second identical case began to hum, its seal pulsing with the same strange golden light that now glowed faintly beneath Tara's skin. Ambush in the barren flats, the desert didn't move. It just watched, sand and dust stretched endlessly under twin suns, a dead ocean of gold and rust. The horizon shimmered with heat. Even the wind had stopped, as if waiting for something to break the silence. And then, far in the distance, a lonely transport cut across the wasteland. Small, old, human-made. Inside it, Alex Mercer gripped the controls with sweaty hands, squinting through the glare. Beside him, Tara sat straight-backed, her three eyes scanning the dunes. She looked calm, but her fingers tapped the side of her seat in a rhythm that meant only one thing. She was uneasy. "Feels quiet," Alex said. "Too quiet," Tara replied. "I don't trust open ground. Too many places to hide," Alex gave a shaky laugh. "It's a desert. Where can they hide?" Tara didn't answer. She just pointed to the ridge ahead, jagged black rock rising from the sand like broken teeth. "There," she said. "That's where I'd put an ambush," Alex swallowed. "You always think of the worst-case scenario?" "I think of survival," she said softly. The transport rattled as it climbed the ridge. Their mission seemed simple enough. Deliver a sealed case to a mining outpost in the barren flats. Norvo Kel's test, he had called it. But everything about it felt wrong. The vague destination, the missing coordinates, the strange weight of the package. Tara hadn't let it out of her sight since they left. She sat with the metal case between her boots as if guarding a treasure or a bomb. Alex tried to lighten the mood. "So," he said, glancing at her, "if we survive this, maybe we go somewhere quiet. A colony with trees. Real air." Tara's lips curved faintly. "You make it sound simple." "Maybe it is," Alex said. "Just two people, a ship, and no one trying to kill us." For a moment she smiled. "That sounds—" The explosion cut her off. The blast tore through the ridge behind them. The shockwave slammed into the transport, flipping it sideways. Alarm screamed. The world became a blur of sand and sound. "Tara!" Alex shouted, gripping the controls as sparks erupted from the console. "I see them," she shouted back. Figures appeared on the ridge, tall, armored, fast. Meraxians, reptilian mercenaries, their bodies plated with dull bronze scales. They moved with military precision, surrounding the transport in seconds. Blaster fire sliced through the air. "Hold on," Alex yelled. He slammed the throttle forward, the engine coughing smoke but obeying. The transport lurched across the sand, bouncing violently. Energy bolts exploded around them, turning the dunes into fire and dust. "They're not just trying to stop us," Tara said, gripping the ceiling rail. "They're trying to destroy the cargo." "Kel didn't send us to deliver anything," Alex said grimly. "He sent us to die." Tara's expression hardened. "Not today." She reached into her belt pouch, pulling out a compact metal tube. With a flick, it expanded into a glowing blue combat staff. "What are you doing?" Alex shouted. "Buying us time," she said, and kicked the side hatch open. Sand and wind howled inside as she leapt out, landing with the grace of a warrior. Energy blasts lit up the sky as she charged toward the ridge, her staff spinning like lightning. Alex turned the transport hard, circling to draw fire away from her. His mind raced. He wasn't a soldier, but he was a courier. He understood speed, timing, and routes. If Tara could distract them, maybe he could outflank them. He skidded the transport behind a dune, grabbed the case, and jumped out. "Tara!" he yelled. "I've got the cargo!" Through the dust he saw her, a blur of blue and light, knocking 2 Meraxians down in a single sweep. She ducked another shot, spun, and hit back with precise fury. The staff crackled as it met armor, sending sparks into the air. Alex had never seen anything like it. She moved like a storm-given shape. "Alex," she shouted. "Stay low!" He dove behind a rock as another blast tore through the sand where he'd stood. A Meraxian dropped from the ridge, hissing through jagged teeth. "Hand over the case, human!" "Yeah, no thanks," Alex said, and threw sand into its eyes. As it roared, Tara's staff hit from behind, dropping it instantly. She turned to him, breathing hard. "We need to move before reinforcements arrive." "Wait," Alex said, pointing to the fallen mercenary's comm device. "Let's see who's giving orders." She grabbed it and activated the feed. A distorted voice hissed through. "Target still moving. Eliminate them and recover Genesis." Tara froze. "Genesis?" "That's what the case is," Alex said. "Project Genesis." Her eyes widened. "Alex, that's human Proximan tech. My people banned it decades ago. What does it do?" "Something dangerous," she said. "And now everyone wants it back." More figures appeared on the ridge, a full squad, armed and closing fast. Tara pulled Alex close. "We can't fight that many." "Then we don't," he said, glancing at the case. "We deliver it somewhere else." "Where?" she demanded. "Anywhere they're not," Alex said. He grabbed her hand, his mind working like a delivery route under pressure. "I'll drive, you cover." "Classic plan." She stared at him for a second, then smiled. "Humans," she muttered, always making a plan when they should be running. "Maybe that's why we're still alive," he said. They sprinted to the transport under heavy fire. Blasts scorched the ground beside them, sand spraying like waves. Alex dove into the cockpit, hands flying across the controls. The engine sputtered once, then roared back to life. Tara jumped in behind him, hitting the hatch switch. "They're locking onto us!" she shouted. "Then we make them miss!" Alex yelled, jerking the controls hard. The transport shot across the desert, weaving between dunes. The Meraxians followed, their shots burning through the air. Alex's hands blurred on the steering levers. "You said they'd hide behind rocks," he said through gritted teeth. "You didn't mention rockets." Tara grinned fiercely, standing by the open hatch with her staff glowing like a beacon. "Surprise them, delivery boy. I'll handle the return policy." She swung, deflecting an incoming blast mid-air. The energy ricocheted, hitting one of the pursuers and sending it spiraling into the sand. Alex whooped. "Remind me never to argue with you again." "Good idea," she shouted back. Then suddenly, silence again. The radar blinked. "No enemies. No signals," Tara frowned. "Too easy." And then the ground beneath them began to move. A shadow stretched across the sand, massive, circular, alive. Alex's eyes widened. What is that?" Before Tara could answer, the desert opened beneath them. The entire transport plunged downward into darkness. The hidden chamber of Genesis darkness swallowed everything. For a long moment, Alex Mercer couldn't hear anything except his own heartbeat. The world was a blur of noise and falling metal. Then, impact. The transport crashed through layers of sand and rock before landing hard on something solid. Sparks flew. The cabin lights flickered weakly, painting the inside in red flashes. "Tara," Alex coughed, choking on dust. A low groan answered him. "Still alive," she muttered, her voice echoing oddly. Alex blinked, eyes adjusting to the dim glow. The windshield was cracked but intact. Beyond it wasn't sand anymore. It was metal, smooth, ancient, glowing faintly with golden symbols. "Where are we?" he whispered. Tara looked out through the shattered glass, her expression unreadable. "Underground, but this isn't natural." The air around them hummed softly, like a sleeping machine dreaming in its sleep. Strange light rippled across the walls, shifting in patterns that made Alex's skin prickle. She stepped out first, landing lightly on the metallic floor. Her boots echoed in the vast chamber. Alex followed, clutching the mysterious silver case. "You think this is part of the mining tunnels?" Tara shook her head. No, this was buried before the colony existed. They walked cautiously, flashlights cutting through the haze. The chamber stretched endlessly, filled with pillars carved with alien runes and floating spheres that pulsed faintly, as if alive. The deeper they went, the warmer the air became. "This place feels alive," Alex said softly. "It is alive," Tara replied. She brushed her hand over a nearby pillar, and it reacted instantly, lighting up under her touch. Lines of light raced across the walls, forming shapes, diagrams, and fragments of language. Alex gasped. "What did you do?" "I didn't do anything," Tara said, backing away slowly. "It recognized me." Before either could speak, a faint mechanical voice echoed through the chamber, ancient, broken, and bilingual. Proximan genetic signature confirmed. Human presence detected. Project Genesis, reactivation sequence commencing. The walls brightened, bathing them in golden light. Alex stumbled back. "Did that thing just say reactivation?" Tara's eyes glowed faintly in the reflection. "Genesis was supposed to be destroyed centuries ago. It was banned. Why?" She hesitated. "Because it was meant to merge intelligence, human creativity with Proximan precision. 2 minds, 1 system. They feared what it could become." Alex looked at the silver case in his hands. It was glowing now, faint but steady. "Tara," he said, "what if this is the key?" She turned to him sharply. "Then we're standing inside the lock." A sudden rumble shook the chamber. Dust fell from above. The ground trembled. "They found us," Tara said, eyes narrowing. "How?" "They were tracking the case, not us," she said. "It's a beacon." Alex's stomach dropped. "Then we need to shut it down before—" A loud crash interrupted him. A massive metal door at the far end split open, spilling light and sand. Through it marched armored figures, Norvo Kell's soldiers. Kell himself stepped into view, calm and smiling, his golden eyes reflecting the strange light of the chamber. "Remarkable," he said, spreading his arms. "You two actually found it." Tara raised her staff, standing between Alex and Kell. "You used us." "Of course," Kell said casually. "No one else could get through the red sector alive. You did the hard part. Now hand me the case." Alex held it tighter. "You said it was just a delivery." "It is," Kell said with a smirk. "A delivery of destiny," he gestured to his soldiers. "Take it," the soldiers advanced. Tara spun her staff, its blue edge crackling. "Alex, run." "No," Alex said, jaw tightening. "Not this time." He stepped beside her, holding the glowing case close to his chest. "You said this thing connects species, right?" "Yes," Tara said. "But it's unstable." "Then maybe it's time humans did something unstable," he said. Before Kell could stop him, Alex slammed his hand on the case's biometric pad. The world exploded in light. The entire chamber roared as if waking from a 1,000-year sleep. Energy poured from the walls, wrapping around Alex and Tara. Kell and his soldiers stumbled back, shielding their eyes. In the air above them, a holographic figure formed, tall, elegant, and shifting between human and Proximan features. Its voice filled the chamber, calm and ancient. "You have awakened Genesis, the bridge between 2 minds, 2 worlds, 2 destinies." Tara stared in awe. "It's an AI, a living archive. Designation, Genesis," the voice continued. "Awaiting instructions," Kell shouted. "Deactivate it!" Now, the AI ignored him. Its gaze turned toward Alex and Tara. Hybrid synchronization detected. "Human Proximan connection achieved. What does that mean?" Alex asked. Tara's voice was barely a whisper. "It means it sees us as the model." Energy rippled across the floor. The symbols on the walls twisted, forming maps of stars, worlds, and neural patterns. The Genesis core began pulsing faster, brighter. Kell's soldiers opened fire, but the energy bent around Alex and Tara like a shield. "Hostile interference detected," the AI said. "Initiating defense protocol." Golden tendrils shot from the walls, wrapping around the soldiers and their weapons, freezing them in place. Kell struggled, eyes wild. "You fools! You've doomed us all!" The AI's voice grew louder, colder. "Correction, I have restored balance." The light began to intensify again. Tara grabbed Alex's hand. "We have to go before this place collapses." But the data, forget the data, she snapped. Genesis doesn't need files. It needs survivors. They sprinted toward the exit as the ground split behind them. Kel's shouts vanished in the rising hum. The air burned gold. Behind them, the ancient voice spoke one last time. The merge has begun. The age of division ends here. They burst out of the desert floor just as the ground caved in behind them. The entire ridge glowed from within, then went silent. Alex fell to his knees, gasping, the case still clutched in his hands. Tara knelt beside him, staring at the faint light still glowing beneath her skin. "It marked us," she whispered. "Genesis isn't done." Alex looked at the horizon. Dark ships were approaching fast. "Then we better be ready," he said. The siege at Drax's house night fell hard on Krell's Landing. The colony's skyline burned with warning lights. Distant sirens howled through the narrow alleys. The storm clouds above glowed faintly gold, a haunting reflection from the buried light still pulsing under the desert. That was where it had begun. And now it was coming for them. Alex Mercer rode the hoverbike like a man possessed. His arms ached, his eyes burned, but he didn't slow. Behind him, Tara clung tight, one hand gripping the seat, the other holding the glowing case that had nearly ended them both. "Faster," she said, her voice steady but urgent. "They'll track the energy signature." "I'm already at max speed," Alex shouted over the roar of the wind. "Then break the limit," Tara replied. The hoverbike screamed as he pushed it harder. Sparks flew from the engine. Ahead, the colony's lights grew closer, and with them the promise of either safety or death. "Where are we going?" Alex yelled. "To the only person crazy enough to hide us," Tara said. "Drax," Alex almost laughed. "You mean the guy who used to bully me at work?" "The same," Tara said. "You said humans are good at changing hearts. Let's hope that's true." Drax's home was hidden behind the industrial sector, surrounded by rusted pipes and broken cargo haulers. The door slid open before they even knocked. "You've got half the settlement chasing you," Drax growled as they stumbled inside. His reptilian eyes darted to the glowing case, "And I can see why." "Good to see you too," Alex said, panting. Tara stepped forward. "We need a safe place." "Just for a few hours?" Drax hesitated, then sighed. "Fine, but if security finds me harboring you, we're all fried." "You were already half fried," Alex muttered. Drax bared his teeth in what might have been a grin. "Still got your mouth, huh? Maybe you're finally growing a spine. Had some help," Alex said, glancing at Tara. Her eyes softened just for a moment. Inside, the place was surprisingly well kept. Clean metal walls, reinforced windows, real furniture. Alex had never imagined Drax living like this. "You always had a hidden luxury suite?" Alex asked. Drax shrugged. "Let's just say dock work isn't my only job." Tara moved to the center of the room and placed the glowing case on the table. "Genesis has reactivated," she said flatly. "Norvo Kell is dead." "Or worse." Drax froze mid-step. "Genesis? As in the Genesis? You know about it?" Alex asked. "Everyone's heard the rumors," Drax said, sitting heavily. "An ancient human proximate experiment that tried to rewrite how species think. They said it was lost, buried, forgotten. Well," Alex said, "we found it. And now every faction on this rock wants us dead." The case pulsed brighter, reacting to his words. The soft hum filled the room. Tara frowned. "It's accelerating. The AI is adapting faster than before." "What does that mean?" Drax asked. "It means," Tara said slowly, "it's learning from us." Before anyone could respond, the lights flickered. Once, twice, then died. The hum of the generator fell silent. The room sank into darkness. "EMP," Tara whispered. "They found us." A second later, the first explosion hit. The blast shook the walls. Dust fell from the ceiling. From outside came the sound of boots, dozens of them, marching in rhythm. "Security squads," Drax growled, grabbing a plasma rifle from under his table. "Kell's men. I told you they'd track that case." Alex's pulse spiked. "We can't fight an army." "We don't have to," Tara said, already moving toward the window. "We just have to outthink them." Blinding lights cut through the night as armored soldiers surrounded the building. A voice boomed through a loudspeaker. This is Captain Vaughn of Krell Security. You are harboring fugitives carrying classified property. Surrender them and no harm will come to you, Drax spat. Liar. Tara's eyes darted between Alex and the glowing case. If they get this, they'll control Genesis. Every mind, every translation, every world, Alex nodded. So we don't let them. He turned to Drax. You said you used to run shipments through the undertunnels, right? Drax blinked. Yeah, for the waste convoys. Why? Alex grinned faintly. Then we have an exit. Tara's three eyes focused on him. You're thinking like a courier again. It's what I do, he said simply. The soldiers opened fire. Plasma bolts shredded the outer walls. Heat scorched the air. Drax returned fire from the window, roaring. Tara grabbed the case and tossed it to Alex. Hold it, she ordered. If it tries to activate again, don't touch the core directly. Got it, he said, clutching it tightly. Drax shouted over the chaos. Back exits this way. They ran through the corridor as explosions shook the floor. The walls glowed faintly with Genesis energy, reacting to their panic, to their adrenaline. Tara glanced back. It's sinking with us again. Then let it, Alex shouted. Maybe it's on our side. They reached a steel hatch leading to the tunnels. Drax kicked it open, revealing a narrow path sloping downward into darkness. In here, he barked. They dropped down just as another blast ripped through the upper level, collapsing the roof behind them. The shockwave chased them through the tunnel like fire. They emerged minutes later into a vast underground passage, old and forgotten. The walls were lined with old pipes dripping condensation. Alex bent over, catching his breath. We can't keep running forever. No, Tara said, her voice low. But we can choose where to make our stand. Drax looked between them. Stand? Against an army? Alex smiled weakly. Not an army. Against anyone who thinks humans and Proximans can't change fate. The case pulsed again. Brighter, steadier, almost as if it approved. Tara's gaze met Alex's. You think Genesis believes in us? I don't know, he said quietly. But maybe it should. Above them, the muffled rumble of dropships filled the air. The soldiers were regrouping. The siege wasn't over, just paused. Tara placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. We started something in that chamber. Something bigger than us. He looked up, eyes burning with determination. Then let's finish it. The rise of Genesis. The tunnels shook with the sound of marching boots. Dust rained down from the ceiling. The echo of metal and shouted orders filled the air. They were closing in. Alex Mercer crouched behind a rusted support beam, the glowing Genesis case beside him. His heart pounded like a drum. Tara stood a few feet away, scanning the shadows. Her three eyes glimmered faintly blue in the dark. How many? Alex whispered. Too many, she said. 3 squads. Maybe more. Great, he muttered. I was hoping for a fair fight. Drax checked the charge on his plasma rifle. You're about to get anything but fair, human, Alex smirked. Then we'll make it unfair for them. The sound of engines rumbled overhead. Dropships. Krell Security wasn't holding back this time. The tunnels trembled as if the whole colony itself was afraid. Tara turned to Alex. You still have that human instinct for impossible plans. He smiled tightly. You know it. They moved fast, 3 shadows in the dark. The tunnel opened into a wide maintenance chamber, filled with old generators and coolant pipes. Faint light flickered from emergency bulbs. This will do, Tara said. For what? Drax asked. Our last stand, Alex said simply. Tara gave a small nod. Then let's make it count. Alex set the Genesis case on the floor. The surface pulsed, responding to his touch. He looked at the shifting lights, remembering what the AI had said. The age of division ends here. He whispered, Let's hope you meant that. Input recognized, the Genesis voice said softly. Defensive mode active. Tara frowned. You just turned it on again, didn't you? Technically, Alex said. I asked for help. The first wave arrived. Armored soldiers stormed the tunnel entrance, rifles raised. Blinding white beams cut through the darkness. Tara was already moving. Her staff spun like lightning, deflecting shots, striking hard and fast. Blue light flashed with every movement. Drax fired from cover, roaring as his plasma bolts tore through armor. Alex stayed near the case, typing commands on its interface. The symbols responded faster now, like the machine was learning his thoughts. Human neural signature confirmed, Genesis said. Tactical synchronization commencing. What does that mean? Alex shouted. Tara ducked a blast. Whatever it is, make it fast. The lights in the chamber flickered, then stabilized into a gold and blue glow. Energy threads extended from the Genesis core, wrapping around Tara and Alex like luminous ribbons. Alex gasped as his vision filled with streams of data, angles, motion predictions. He could see where enemies would move before they did. Tara looked at him in surprise. Your eyes. They're glowing? They're calculating, she said, half amazed, half terrified. He grinned. Let's even the odds. What followed wasn't a fight. It was a lesson. Every movement of Tara's staff became faster, more precise. Every shot Drax fired landed perfectly. Alex, with his enhanced awareness, shouted instructions before the enemy even moved. Left flank, 2 meters high. Fire now. Drax obeyed, blasting a soldier out of midair. Tara struck 3 opponents in a blur, disarming one and flipping another into a wall. The energy shield around her shimmered brighter with every hit. Adaptive synchronization successful, Genesis announced. Human creativity linked with Proximan's strength. Efficiency, 94%. Alex laughed breathlessly. Guess we make a good team. Tara smirked. Told you humans were useful. The next squad arrived. Heavier armor, more firepower. But the chamber itself responded this time. Metal walls bent and shifted like living muscle, sealing tunnels and redirecting energy blasts. Genesis is fighting with us, Alex shouted. Correction, the AI said calmly. Genesis is learning from you. A new voice echoed through the tunnel, deep, mechanical, and furious. Norvo Kell. But his voice was distorted, broken by static. You think you've won? Genesis belongs to me. I was chosen to control it. Alex froze. He's alive? Tara's expression darkened. Or what's left of him? Kell appeared at the tunnel's far end, his body half metal, half flesh, fused with cybernetic armor that glowed red with power. His eyes burned with unnatural light. You awakened what you don't understand, he roared. Now I'll finish what you started. He raised his arm, a cannon built into his body. The blast hit like thunder. Tara dove in front of Alex, her shield flaring bright blue. The impact threw them both backward. The room shook. Kell advanced slowly. Genesis was made to serve power, not weakness. Alex stood shakily. You don't get it, do you? Kell sneered. Enlighten me, human. Alex pointed to Tara, to himself, to the case pulsing between them. Genesis isn't about control. It's about connection. You can't own it. Statement confirmed, said Genesis. Initiating override protocol. Light exploded outward, engulfing everything. Kell screamed as the red glow of his armor turned gold, then shattered. His mechanical implants melted into dust. His body disintegrated into light, leaving nothing but silence. When the glow faded, the chamber was calm again. The walls hummed softly, peaceful. Tara lowered her staff, breathing hard. Is it over? Alex looked at the glowing core. I think Genesis made its choice. Choice complete, said the AI gently. No more masters, only partners. Dawn broke above the colony. The chaos had ended. Krell's landing stood quiet, bathed in golden morning light. The sky shimmered. Faintly, Genesis's signal spreading across the planet like a heartbeat. In Drax's rebuilt home, Alex sat at the window looking out. Tara joined him, her hand resting easily on his shoulder. Genesis uploaded itself into the communication grid, she said softly. Every species in range will feel the connection. Not just hear it, understand it. Alex smiled faintly. Guess we changed the universe, Drax grumbled from across the room. You changed my rent bill. Half my house blew up. Alex laughed. Sorry about that. Worth it, Drax muttered, hiding a smile. Tara turned to Alex. What now? He looked up at her, at the faint golden mark still glowing beneath her blue skin. Now, he smiled, we deliver something new. Hope? She asked. Yeah, he said softly. Hope. Outside, the rebuilt colony glowed like dawn itself. Ships from dozens of worlds arrived, guided by a single shared signal. The light of Genesis, uniting species through understanding. And as the first broadcast spread across the stars, one message repeated, simple and clear. You messed with humans. Bad move. We remember. We adapt. And we build bridges where others burn them. The stars shimmered in answer, and for the first time, the galaxy listened. The rise of Genesis. If you enjoyed this video, like this video, subscribing, and clicking the bell icon to stay updated with fresh content every day.